Hello, collective. Um, Welcome to today's video, which is the first video of the first personality within me. This personality is my divine feminine, and um, my name's Rosie. Okay, so I've named her Rosie. I'm Rosie. I am Rosie. Um, my energy is low. I'm so tired. I didn't even want to just straighten out my hair for this fucking video, to be fair. I was like, do I have to? Why do I have to? You know what I mean? Why did I have to loose out my cornrows? They've been in for 2 weeks. They have. They've probably been in for 4 weeks, if I'm honest. So this is me. This is my natural hair. I tend not to kind of do this. I tend to fling on a wig. You get what I'm trying to say? And the reason for that is full disclosure. I've been in a marriage for the past 16 years that has reflected all of the trauma in me. Does that make sense? So I have vibrationally matched myself with someone that is a match who has experienced similar traumas to me. So actually, even though I wished for this man, and honestly I did, I put his name down on paper, all the attributes that he needed to have and all the rest of it, I put them on paper. And I was like, yeah, universe. And the universe provided and blessed me. And for years and years, I felt blessed, not realizing that actually I'd created a family, an environment, a house, a home that it just enabled those traumas to hide. But yet still those traumas were very visible. So now that I'm not in it and I look back at it and reflect on it, I'm like, you know what? Yeah. So I've just had a really hard time. And I'm struggling with the conversation that I'm having with myself, that the idea of wanting a family and a home is not a bad thing, okay? It just can turn out to be a very toxic family when it's done in a way, or it's done coming from a place of trauma, okay? So that's what I'm working through at the moment. So I've been overworked and I've been underpaid. Overworked and underpaid for years. And I've also during that whole experience, I gave away my power. You know, I think a lot of the time as women we do, don't we? We esteem these men that we're with and blah, 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 blah. You know that saying, behind every strong man, there's a strong woman, or, however it goes. And I think I wanted to be that strong woman up until meeting it's irrelevant calling him a karmic twin, to be fair, because he's a reflection of me and I don't want to disrespect that, because I understand that now. Come speak to me the other day and I'll be telling you the bomber clock karmic, you know what I'm saying? But I do believe that I've grown in my perspective since then. So I'd come out of the remit of being Sasha. And Sasha's very dominant. She's very masculine. She's very, she's very aggressive. She's very competitive, etc. So now coming into this new relationship, having left the kid's dad of 7 years, my oldest two boys, and him being like the gal in the relationship, you know what I'm saying? So not only am I doing the girls' work, the mummy stuff or whatever, but I'm also out there on the grind. So me and him, as in my first partner, um, he was more the feminine in the relationship and I was the masculine. Whereas this time around now with my second children's father, so I've got 5 kids. My oldest 2 have got the same dad. My youngest 3 have got the same dad. So with this second baby daddy, quote unquote, I transformed. I'm a Scorpio. You get what I'm saying? Sasha had to die and then Rosa was reborn. Okay, and Rosa, as a divine feminine, she learned how to be submissive. Okay, she learned to push Sasha down. Okay, she didn't know who Sasha was, but she learned how to push and suppress that energy to the point where I didn't even stand up for myself, even when I should have, even when I needed to, I didn't. I was so submissive. It's unreal, but that's what I believed feminine energy was, submissive, you know, having people taking the fucking piss with me and all the rest of it. So during that process, I handed over my power to this man and built him up. Together we built a fucking empire. That's what we did. We built a fucking empire. And it appeared like it was amazing on the surface of things. Does that make sense? But now that I'm actually unpicking it like an onion and just drawing back the layers, I don't think it ever was. I think I now understand that there was a lot of infidelity in my relationship, in my marriage, which I wasn't aware of until now. So that's how much I had my head in the fucking cuckoo. You know, I've been with this person for 16 years, never slept with another man during that time, was never unfaithful. If a man stared at me or whatever, I'd say, yo, this happened today. To a fault sometimes. You get what I'm trying to say? And even when I got caught up with certain experiences or situation, I was always transparent and open about it, wrongly or rightly, but I was always transparent about it. And like I said, I'd never had sexual intercourse with anyone, okay, apart from my husband for that whole duration of our marriage. So, I don't think I'm ready to kind of go into kind of what that whole situation reflected for me. But what I will say is that the stress of that situation, you know, was intense. It also led to me losing my hair 3 times. So my whole head was just as bald as a baby 3 times because I was just carrying or not dealing with so much, to be fair. So it just created, first of all, it created alopecia. So I had missing hair at the back. And then it very quickly developed into alopecia areata. So it was coming out in clumps now. And this was the run up until my wedding. Imagine I'm getting married. I mean, the fucking stress of a wedding is stressful enough. Plus, I'd only had a baby not too long ago. So I gave birth to my daughter in 2008, and we got married in 2009. And the bullshit that was going on, we were arguing, there's just loads going on. And my hair was coming out in clumps, man. Every time I combed, it was like massive bundles of hair just coming out. And it had gone from like small patches of alopecia to just massive fucking, like, you know what I'm saying? All of that was gone on my head. And then all of this was gone. My head looked like this. This is what my head looked like. And I struggled. And then it grew back. And it was about this long. And I've got my curls back and I'm doing my thing. And then it all just went again. The whole thing fell out again. And I'm traumatized. And I'm going to hospital. I'm having injections of steroids put in my head. I'm using creams that burn your fucking skin. Do you know what I'm saying? And all the rest of it. And honestly, I'm having blood tests. I'm under a consultant, under 2 consultants at this point. And you know, my hair started to grow back again the second time. And then it went again. And the third time when it went, that was fucking it. It took everything. That was now alopecia universal. So eyebrows gone, eyelashes gone, pum pum armpit gone, arms gone, legs gone. I'm talking hairless. I had no hair. It was alopecia universal. So I don't know if you could comprehend what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is what I'm saying is, um, it forced me to disconnect I had to disconnect with my hair because I couldn't cope. I couldn't trust it growing again. And to be honest, for about 5 years, 4 or 5 years, it didn't. After the alopecia universal, it didn't grow again at all, no matter what I did, no matter how many injections I had, no matter how many times, you know, I took fucking medic. I even I even went to Thailand researching hair loss medication and taking all kinds of fucking bullshit, running the risk of growing a beard and all that kind of thing because it was so strong. So yeah, so all of that. So basically, I've gone through some shit as well as the general traumas. You know what I mean? My hair loss was a physical reflection of what was going on in my actual marriage. Okay, that's what the hair loss was representing. And it was that I was dying from the inside out. I was fucking dying. This wasn't just a Scorpio transformation from death to rebirth. This was a physical fucking death, man. You know what I mean? And my hair was trying to communicate that with me. My hair was trying to communicate that, Asha, you can't do this. You can't be a full-time mom, raising kids in the house, cooking, cleaning, washing. Plus, I'd also taken on 2 step kids. So 5 of them I did have at the time, you get what I'm saying, and ended up with 7. So I've raised 7 children basically. And everyone's on top form, dance lessons, piano lessons, tune times table, fucking singing lessons, lambda, drama, you name it. My kids have done it all. Um, and I've made sure of that because I've wanted them to have the best experience. Again, I'm coming from trauma. All the things that I didn't get to do as a kid, I've made sure my kids are doing it. Whether you want it or not, kicking, screaming, I don't care. We are going. So, and then on top of all of that, esteeming and raising a man, being in the businesses, you know what I'm saying? I'm there when the staff have gone home, and I'm there before the staff get there. And I'm doing policies, procedures, I'm writing bids, I'm doing his applications. Like he ain't had to do fuck all, man. You know what I'm saying? If something needs done, it's coming my way. Like I'm more than a fucking PA. You get what I'm trying to say? And ain't nobody getting paid around here because in my mind, we a team. Does that make sense? We a team. So I'm putting the work in because we're doing this for each other, innit? But what what had happened is I don't know if this is a standard thing, but I know that this is my experience. Okay, this is what it looked like. Okay, so it looked like the more I did, and the more this man achieved off the back of me, the more he thought it was all about him. And I think now when I look back at it, people looked at him like it was him. You get what I'm saying? Because I never stepped out into the light. I never said I did rare. I never said I did tear. So nobody knew what I was doing. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Nobody knew what I was doing. People all have thought that he was paying me bare money out of the business on the side. All I told Ofsted that I'm getting paid. When Ofsted came down and did their big inspection, they couldn't find a fucking penny that had gone to me because everything I did was free. It was all voluntary. And even when I had an opportunity, my second opportunity to become a councillor of Birmingham, at one point I was being mentored by the deputy leader of the council, who's now the leader of the council, to become a councillor because that's always been my dream. I love politics. So I went to uni and I studied social policy. I did a master's in governance management and criminal justice management too, but whatever. And I joined the police force. I joined the police force because I wanted to change the world. And when I got there, passed all my application, done all my exams and everything, sitting in the canteen, the last stage I had to do was the physical stage where you got to kind of like do like the crypting factor. And I got that pattern because I'm physical. And that's the Sasha. And I was sitting in the canteen with all these police officers and the people that I was on the team with, and talking to a police officer. And then I don't know what it is. I just had a download. I had a spiritual download that says to me, how much difference do you think you can make from this level, being a street copper? You ain't going to make no difference, Asha, because it's bigger than that. If you're going to do it, do it. Go uni, go and change the policies that dictate what the police actually do. You want the police to stop fucking killing and harming black people? Then make a policy that become fucking prime minister, and make a policy that ensures that you can protect fucking black people in custody. Because yeah, black lives do fucking matter. I do not support the Black Life Movement, straight up. I don't. It's a bunch of transvestites and lesbians. Nothing against transvestites and lesbians, but that is what they're about. That's what the movement's about. That's what their manifesto is about. That's what their fucking mission statement is about. And I've gone online and I've read that shit for myself. So because I've researched their movement, I've researched who they're being funded by, some circle, what's his name, some George, what's he called, who's well in there with Hillary Clinton and the rest of them. Me not in what they're in. Am I into Black Lives Mattering? I'm into all lives mattering. Okay. But at that time, and again, I've explained, if you go back to part 1 of Astray's video, you'll understand that I was raised in a very Pan-African, pro-Black environment. So at that time, Black people and what was happening to them in terms of the justice system, I thought was unfair, and I wanted to do something about it. So that's kind of where that came from. So obviously, I've now got this opportunity. I'm shadowing the deputy. He's on it. I'm not gonna lie. That guy, he's nothing but love and respect. Okay, and he was pushing, promoting, supporting. I was out canvassing. I mean, it was all going down. I've been a Labour member from my early 20s, paid my membership, everything else like that. That's how political I've been. And honestly, I've seen so much. Okay, I've had dinner with the Lord Mayors. I've traveled. I've met the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Portia Simpson. I met Tony Blair. I'm talking. I was well in there. I'm well in there. And I had this opportunity. It's my second opportunity actually to become a councillor in Birmingham. And my man turned around and said, "Nah, I need you to hold the other school," because we'd worked on an application for a free school. He brought me in on the end of that, to be fair. And now we've got a new school. We've got a free school. Yeah. First free school in Birmingham as an alternative provision. So he needs me now to become the head teacher of the other school. And that's kind of how the whole education cycle started. So I'm humming and hawing. I'm talking to my dad and that, and like, "Dad, my mum wants me to blah, blah, blah." And Dad said, "Yo, Asha, it's time for you now. You need to spread your wings. You've been supporting and esteeming all of my man's dreams from 19 how long. What about you?" And I was like, "Yeah, Dad, I know, but isn't this what it's about when you're working with someone and you're trying to build something together, blah, blah, blah. Sacrifices have to be made. Sacrifice has to be made." So I've convinced myself that this sacrifice has to be made again. I mean, all I've been doing is fucking sacrificing myself. So I've ended up not taking the councillor role. I didn't even turn around and tell the deputy of the leader at the time that what was going on. I just bounced. Obviously, later on, I think it was probably about 4 or 5 years later, I went up there because I used to work for Edge Hill University. I did my headship qualification with them, and it should have been 18 months, and I banged it out in 6 months. And then there was like, "You know what, you gangster, we want you to come on board as a facilitator and train other head teachers and whatever." So I did. So I brought them in to a meeting with him so that they could do something with Birmingham. Okay, so this was a big thing, you know. You know what I'm saying? My G, the deputy, he was the leader at the time still. So I was doing the hookup and bringing those two people together. And before we went in, I'd written him a letter explaining why I had walked away so many years ago. But I thought the girls on reception, because me and the girls on reception are cool. Remember, I'm there every day at the council house. I shadowed him for 6 months. I went into every meeting with him. I traveled with him. We ate together. I'm talking proper shit, you know. I don't play. When I do it, and I go in hard. Okay, so I wrote him a letter. I gave it to the girls on reception. I said, "Oh, I'll give this to my man after." And it was like, "Yeah, cool." So I'm waiting. There's a parlor. Okay, so before you go in to the deputy or the leader's office, there's a parlor. So you wait in the parlor. So I'm in the parlor with the director of the university and then another guy called Tony who did all the other governance for the university. And we're sitting there chopping up. And this bitch is being a bitch to me. She's being an absolute fucking bitch to me. But like I said, lots of women are bitchy towards me because I bring out their fucking insecurities. It doesn't matter if a woman is walking around with $1 million outfit and a purse, and I know that. again, like I said, me and my husband, we worked our ass off and built an empire. Our first born together went to private school. Okay, so when I used to drop her off in the morning, and you've got all these wags, this particular private school in Birmingham is renowned for where a lot of the influential people in Birmingham kids go. So your footballers, your businessmen, whatever. So you see like famous footballers around from like Aston Villa, Birmingham Blues, whatever. So they're women a lot of the time in the playground because mums tend to do the drop off, don't they? And these fucking women are there in their late, I'm talking red bottoms, whatever. I'm not even interested in fucking name brand, to be fair, but they're doing their thing. I walk around in my fucking Primark. I buy Primark and I put that shit together. And these women are looking at me like to say, I'm in the Gucci and they're in the Primark. So I've had that my whole life. Go back to Ashtrays and Sachets experience, okay? I bring out the insecurities in people. I recognize that. So, um, this woman's been really horrible to me in the parlor, and I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? But I'm not even going there. I'm still Rosie, and Rosie's submissive. Rosie never stood up for, Rosie doesn't stand up for herself. I don't stand up for myself. I didn't stand up for myself. I just allow people to say what the fuck they wanted. Because I'd buried Sasha by then. Since Sasha had been buried in the back garden, so she couldn't defend me. So I'm just getting beat up left, right, and center because Sasha was too much. Sasha was going to make me end up in prison. So she needed to be buried in the garden. Okay. So don't feel sorry for Sasha. Sasha was on one in them days. And obviously, burying Sasha helped me to experience a different side of me. Okay. It helped me to step into divine feminine, which I'm very, very grateful for. So, anyway, when we went into the meeting, this guy, you know, the leader of the council, he just grabbed me and he hugged me. And I just fucking cried my eyes out, if I'm completely honest. I just melted because I wasn't expecting it. One, I thought they was going to give him the letter at the end. And two, I didn't know his response was going to be that. And in this letter, I just basically just explained to him that I'd really appreciated the opportunity and also the belief that he'd had in me. But my husband got sick with a really significant heart problem, which meant that I actually needed to step in to this role with the school. Okay, so it's like the decision was kind of made for me. He got sick and I had to step in. And, you know, I just, like I said, I went into it in detail and he read that and he was just like, you know what, Asha, I can't fucking believe that you've gone through all of that. Why didn't you say, whatever. And then we've obviously had this meeting, etc. And we're cool. Okay, so that was an example of where Rosa just handed she forfeited her dreams constantly. She had no purpose, she had no direction. By this time, I weren't doing anything for myself. Everything I did, it was for the kids and my husband. And when I say I didn't do anything for myself, I meant I've always looked nice. I've always got up in the morning and creamed my face and put on my clothes. You know what I mean? That's always been me. Again, go back to Ashtray's video of how I watched my mom get ready. You know what I'm saying? I've been inspired by that. But in terms of like doing stuff for me, I didn't even know what made me happy. I really didn't. I'm still discovering in 2022 what actually makes me happy, because I think for nearly 20 years, I weren't paying attention to that. I didn't know what that was. I didn't deem myself worthy. Clearly I didn't, because if I did, I would have done something about it. I just, everything was about the family to my own cost and everything about my husband. So I think I am on the city. As the divine feminine, I am on the city. I'm traumatized. I'm traumatized by my situation. I've been going through a divorce for over 2 years, and it's been a tough one. I think if I had been Sasha in this divorce, man, God only knows. Man already knows. Was it earlier we were talking about bodies being buried in the garden? Did somebody mention bodies in the garden? Um, Luckily, it's been divine feminine Asha walking through this. I think not even me, to be fair, it's been Asha. Asha has very much led on this divorce, and she's organized and she's on top. You get what I'm saying? She's top shelf, so she don't fuck around. Do you know what I mean? I'll tell you straight. Today, Asha sacked her fucking solicitor, and guess what? Asha's represented herself because she's represented herself bare times through this fucking divorce. And when she does, she's winning. Do you know what I mean? So that's Asha. Uh, she's a fucking solicitor, and she don't even, and nobody knows it. She's a fucking qualified solicitor and a barrister. And the joke is, I'm living my dream. Because when I was at school, I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a barrister. I wanted to actually be a barrister. I did my work experience 2 weeks in a solicitor's office, going to the Crown Court and the magistrates. Okay, she's badass. And the only reason why I didn't pursue it is, well, not the only reason, the reason is my mum and dad, they just couldn't afford bar school. Bar school's expensive, you know, just for that little piece of, you know, the wig that they wear. The wig's like, what's the wig? What's the wig? 600 or something like that. The wig's like £600-700 for that wig that you sit down on the head. Never mind the cloak and everything else that goes with it. So when I interviewed a barrister during my work experience, and she was telling me what I'd got on, I just knew that you know, I believed that wasn't gonna happen. So obviously I went down other roads, which again I'm grateful for. So I am going through a stage of healing, and I recognize that, and I'm having to bring a lot of things up to the forefront, and I'm having to accept where a lot of these things come from. I'm having to learn about how my triggers triggered his triggers, how his triggers triggered my triggers, and actually, you know, there isn't even a blame thing. You know, in any relationship, there's no blame. We're just reflecting each other's triggers, you know, and that might be a little bit difficult for some people to hear, especially when you've gone through certain things. But I'm telling you, you know, I'm going to say it because I've already said it publicly before, that, you know, I've experienced marital rape, I've experienced abuse. I've experienced abuse, not even knowing that it was abuse, if that makes sense, you know. I've also experienced fun and laughter and family and holidays and everything. And I think that's some of the fucked up thing, that trying to work out what was okay and what wasn't okay, and knowing that all of it was okay, and being traumatized now, like, fucking hell, I don't want to start a family again. I'm going to meet some guy. Fuck that. I'm going to be Lilith. If you don't know who Lilith is, Lilith was Jesus' first wife. And Lilith got run out of the Garden of Eden, sorry. She got run out, according to the Bible, yeah. If you know your Bible, you know your Bible. If you don't know your Bible, please do not question what I'm saying until you go read your Bible, okay? And then come back with an argument, because, you know me, I'm down for a debate. But anyway, Lilith was Jesus' first wife. She got cast out of this Garden of Eden because she wanted to go on top. She wanted to ride Adam. And Adam was like, no, you're the woman. I'm riding you. And she was like, fuck that. We're made equally. Do you get what I'm trying to say? We are made equally. If you can ride on top of me, I can ride on top of you. So them two ended up with an argument. She's packed up her fucking shit and she's left the Garden of Eden, hasn't she? So then obviously God's had to make Adam another partner. So now this time, it's took out Adam's rib to make Eve. So now Eve is less than Adam, isn't she? She's inferior to Adam because she make from his rib. So now Adam can tell Eve anytime, him the on top. You get what I'm saying? And she has to be submissive and she has to listen. So yeah, I think in my marriage I became Eve. Do you get what I'm trying to say? The submissive one, looking at my masculine as in him being superior than me, and I need to esteem him and stand behind him. He's the head of the family, so therefore he gets to go on and do, you know what I'm saying? Me and him are both head teachers. Me and him are doing the same job. Okay, my job's probably harder than his, if I'm honest, because he's got more staff than me in his school. Okay, but whatever. We're both doing the job. We're both leaving the house. So why am I leaving the house, dropping the kids to work, and you're leaving the house and going to work? And then when we're coming back from work, again, we're doing the same job. We're both head teachers. It's two different schools. Okay. Why is it got the same number of kids in the school too? Okay, so let's just do this as it is, like for like. Why is it when the masculine comes home from work, it's a sit down, cock up, foot on the settee, football's on, PlayStation's on, dinner's coming out on a tray, tray's got napkin, knife, fork, cup of juice, everything. You get what I'm saying? Foot cock up. I'm all on the floor after his dinner, sitting down, rubbing up the foot, got the spar out. You get what I'm trying to say? Setting them toes right, getting the dead skin off, setting him up, pushing cuticles back on his fingers, taking out grey hairs out of his head. I'm treating this man like a king. Like a fucking king. And me and him's doing the same fucking job. And I'm still coming home, cooking, cleaning, whatever, and esteeming this guy, man. Like I said, my divine feminine was not taken care of. Okay, she was not. She was not treated accordingly. She was not treated like the empress she is. He weren't getting down and cleaning my fucking toes. He weren't getting down and cleaning the shit out of my ass. He wasn't making sure that he was at every one of my doctor's appointment. He wasn't there holding my hands when I was crying my fucking eyes out. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because I'm traumatized by his experience. He weren't there, blood. Do you get what I'm saying? I was going to scans with his fucking children and he weren't next to me during the fucking scan. He's busy. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So he spent most of our marriage being busy and I spent most of our marriage taking care of him. Okay. And not myself. So obviously that trauma has led me to be in a position where next time when I get in a relationship, I'm Lilith. You get what I'm trying to say? But that's where the healing is, because actually I'm not Lilith. I'm Lilith and I'm Eve, you know, and I'm Adam. And I need to learn how to balance these energies. Actually, I can dip between them. And there's going to be times in my next venture of a relationship or marriage where it's going to be okay to be submissive because my divine masculine will understand that. And there's going to be times when my divine masculine will have to step out and my divine masculine can exercise his feminineness. It's about the balance, isn't it? It's not about being one or the other, it's the balance. So, as much as I'm tired and as much as I recognize that I'm going through this process, I also recognize that I'm truly grateful, and I wake up every morning with gratitude when when I want to wake up. But I wake up with complete gratitude, and I lie in gratitude. I stand in gratitude. I'm lying in gratitude at the moment, but technically I do stand in gratitude because I am grateful for the experience. Okay, so thank you for listening to my story. My name is Rozee, and I am the divine feminine. Take care. Love and light.